Hi, I'm Mike Lynch, and in today's video we're going to talk about muscle and how important it is for overall health and weight loss. You know, I started this career 25 years ago, and back in the day people would actually just count calories and do a ton of aerobics to lose weight. And I have to have this conversation mostly with females, but there's some men that actually struggle with this idea too. And people will come in and say, you know, I want to lose weight or I want to get my cholesterol down, but I don't want to build too much muscle. And I kind of chuckle at this because it's really just false beliefs that have been burrowed into their head on different ideas they have about muscle. So let's start here. Let's talk about a word that a lot of people don't know. It's called sarcopenia. We've all heard about osteoporosis, and basically that's the degeneration of bone mass. And obviously more women deal with this than men. But we have sarcopenia, and sarcopenia is muscle loss. And it actually starts at the age of 30. And studies show that up to 5% of your muscle mass is lost every year. So let's say you lose about a pound of muscle a year. It's been shown that you generally will replace this with about 2 pounds of body fat. And that's why I get the phone calls or the emails all the time where people are like, I don't understand, my body composition is really bad, but I'm not much heavier than I was 10, 20 years ago. But you know, I went from a 32-inch waist to a 37-inch waist. And this is because they've lost so much muscle mass and they replaced it with fat mass. So that's just one of the reasons. Now, why is that so important? You know, when women talk about the body that they want, I remember when Madonna was really a popular music artist, and everybody said, I want toned arms like Madonna. And unfortunately, there's no technical term called toning. You cannot tone a muscle. The tone and shape of your muscle is genetic and it cannot be changed. However, you can get your body fat down low where you see the anatomy of the muscle, where the shoulder connects into the bicep and the tricep, and it makes the muscle appear more toned. But toning a muscle is a made-up term. Now, what they want to do is build muscle and lose body fat. So a lot of times when women start to work out and they've done weights and they've done them the wrong way or with the wrong trainer, what happens is they kind of get freaked out because building muscle comes pretty fast if you're doing the right thing, but losing body fat takes some time. So what happens is, let's say the person has 25% body fat and they start doing, you know, some strength training and stuff like that, their muscles start to respond and they get like a swelling of the muscle. I'll just leave it as simple as that. But the body fat hasn't gone down. So they might feel like their shirts get a little tighter or maybe their butt gets a little bit pumped up when they're working out, and now they feel like their jeans are tight and they say, oh no, I built too much muscle. When they really are either doing the wrong training style or, more importantly, haven't given themselves enough time and followed the right diet. So this way the body fat goes down because the muscle now is being expanded, and it's a good thing. Okay, and I'll talk about that. But they haven't gotten to the point where the body starts to metabolize body fat. And there's a myriad of different reasons for that. So this is a conversation that I have to have a lot with women, and there's some even men that I just want a six-pack. I don't want to build any more muscle. So they're misguided because if you look at the numbers, if you're 30, if you're in your young 20s and you're a teenager, good for you. But if you're over the age of 30, you want to try and build muscle because sarcopenia is taking your muscle from you. So why is that important? One, muscle looks good. I know if you're watching this, you say, I don't want to be too muscular. The people that you see that are overly muscular, like athletes and bodybuilders and wrestling celebrities, first off, they might be doing some other things that could make their muscles over big. But a lot of them are eating tremendous amounts of calories and training 1 or 2 times a day, 6 days a week. So this idea that everybody's going to just put on all this muscle mass, there's a lot of people that wish it was that easy. But having a nice muscular body is going to give you that toned look. It's going to push against the skin and make sure that the skin is nice and taut against the muscle and show that definition. But here's where it's really exciting. Muscle, I coined this phrase, muscle is very expensive, meaning it takes a lot of calories to keep it alive just on a daily basis, just you sitting there. So if you put on, let's say, 5 pounds of muscle in a year and you lose 5 pounds of body fat and you've lost no scale weight whatsoever, you'll actually burn roughly 400 to 500 in some cases extra calories a day just to support that new muscle mass. So on the scale, you might say, I lost no weight. And obviously, if somebody has a significant amount of weight, they lose, sometimes I've had people lose over 100 pounds with me. But I'm just talking about the average person that has 10, 15 pounds to lose. In the beginning, they say, I don't know. I don't get this, Mike. The scale is exactly the same 6 months later or whatever, but my jeans, I'm in jeans 2 sizes down, and my blood work came back, and I look so much leaner in pictures. I can see my face, the definition of my jawline. It's because they cashed in the body fat, and they built some new muscle mass. And now their metabolism, because everybody throws that word around and it's totally misunderstood, their metabolism is elevated because they have to metabolize more calories to support that muscle mass. Muscle just doesn't stay on your body. And if it did, no one would have to just exercise, and we can just hang out and watch Netflix and just eat food and just keep our muscle on for the rest of our lives. And we see how bad or destructive muscle loss can be in the elderly. And people, once they get to 60 years old and above, because then muscle loss really starts to accelerate if it's not addressed with a great strength training program and the supplemental diet that goes along to nourish the muscle and feed the muscle so it continues to regenerate. It's called tissue turnover, and making sure that it's in a positive nitrogen retention and balance. So these are some of the very reasons that when you go on a weight loss journey or just want to be overly fit, so you look great on the beach, you want to put an emphasis on building muscle. Now, you may think building muscle means that you're deadlifting all these weights or doing Olympic lifts. It's not what building muscle is all about in a functional world for the mass percentage of people. It's doing great strength training in a different setup for whoever you're dealing with, in a circuit fashion most often. And these can be several full body workouts per week, or splitting the body in two, like an upper lower body split, several times a week, 3-4 times a week, as little as 2. But strength training properly done with a moderate weight or load is going to be one of the most important things in regards to your weight loss journey and your overall health. And I'll leave you one last thing. Obviously, heart disease is a huge thing, but right there with heart disease, and it's a scary disease that comes with a host of problems, is diabetes, okay? Weight training does certain things that I'll leave out of this video, but it does a lot of things in the body in regards to the way the metabolism, the muscle metabolizes carbohydrates, and it allows someone to eat a lot more carbohydrates, which everyone loves, and become very healthy and lean. Where we see a lot of diets now, like the keto diets and the low carb diets that are really trendy, the reason why a lot of these people are adhering to those diets and being successful, although I don't think they're the most healthy, well-balanced diets in the long run, the reason why they're doing well is, one, they're removing a food group, which if you haven't watched the nutrition videos, go watch that. That's not a great idea. But they're managing their blood sugar through diet manipulation, and really kind of like somewhat of a starvation mechanism in the body. They go into a process called ketogenic or ketosis. So where if you eat a moderate carbohydrate, because carbohydrates are delicious, and you strength train, your body has to use that carbohydrate to fuel a thing called muscle glycogen, and I'll leave it at that. But it allows you to eat a much more balanced lifestyle or diet and have a balanced lifestyle that leads you to a much happier, healthier, great physique in the long run. So deprivation is nothing that has long-term success. So these are just some of the reasons why you want to make sure everyone, whether you're a woman or a man, you want to make sure that you're doing everything in your power to make sure that you're preserving the muscle mass that you had as a young child. And that's why we see these children, and they can run all day and they have tons of energy and they can eat a lot of crap and kind of get away with it. And it's the muscle loss that takes that all away from them. So that's it. I'll see you in the next video, and just make sure that you keep the muscle mass on your body.